Ever since the premiere of Starlight a couple of weeks ago, I've heard this take ad infinitum. Oh, I thought it was just okay, but the last 5 minutes were amazing. I've even heard this applied to the second and third episodes somehow. At the risk of sounding condescending, I can't help but think this attitude fails to appreciate exactly what's going on in those quote-unquote boring 15 minutes of so-called downtime. Think about it, the way Starlight has been presented so far is basically one giant tournament arc! Hey, cut that out, Giga Sumi. Anyway, as a tournament arc, it's useful to remember what they're all about. Yes, they're often used as an easy reason to have our protagonists fight each other and display their abilities, but more often than not, they're also easy ways to illuminate character motivations and ideologies. In Boku no Hero, it's the first time we learn exactly why Ochako wants to be a hero, as well as Todoroki's tragic past. Essentially, the sports festival arc asks and answers two questions. What does being a hero mean to you? And why work so hard to become one? Now, while Boku no Hero had an entire season to give at least a basic overview of what its characters were all about, Starlight does not have that luxury. Unlike its shonen counterpart, it keeps its cards close to its chest. This leads to that jaw-dropping, what the heck is going on moment at the end of the first episode, but as a result the show is given very little time comparably to work its magic. So how does it go about doing that? By stuffing that 15 minutes with as much characterization, meaning, and metaphor as it can. If Boku no Hero's questions were what makes a hero and why you, Starlight's questions are remarkably similar. What does being top star mean to you? Why you? While this is explored somewhat during the battles themselves, the vast majority of the answers and supporting evidence are established in those crucial school time moments. What does being a top star mean to Juna? It means hard work to the point of collapse. It means blood, sweat, and tears. When Kaden says that the leads this year will most likely be Tendo and Claudine again, Juna aggressively dips her. Her mouth says, we still have a chance, but her eyes say, don't you dare count me out already. And after besting her at their review, Kaden dips her back, as if to say, I know. You need this framework of Juna behind the scenes to give a proper depth behind the review scenes. If you don't know that she practices in her free time, continually shows up early, or even the little stuff like being overjoyed by nailing a part in practice, you don't have the context of why she is fighting so desperately. It's the classic battle of innate talent versus sheer dedication, explored in other notable series such as Fullmetal Alchemist 2003. There's a reason why her review is named the Review of Longing. This attention to detail is by no means limited to Juna. Every character is explored to a similar extent, and while it can be a little in your face, there's plenty of subtle moments that are the definition of show don't tell. When Hikari first arrives, we see that she and the school are both literally and metaphorically at a crossroads. Kaden is shown to care less about being late, and thus authority, opting instead to run back and grab her hairpin, establishing where her priorities lie. During morning practice, as soon as Tendo arrives, she shadows over position 0, sparking the others to literally fall in line. Hikari only accepts Banana's baked goods the second she learns she's not competing for the lead. Futaba and Kaoruko are seen together seemingly at all times, making Futaba's desire for top star in spite of her have more weight. Of course, the subtlety applies to the battles themselves. While they're filled with absolutely superb choreography and animation, they're also strong thematically. This is why everyone was so outraged at High Dive subs. How do you not bother translating something so important? In the third episode, Kaden fights a literal uphill battle while Tendo sings lyrics directly tied to her "a dream isn't something you have yourself, it's something you give to others" ideology. Preparation is not what will carry you to the summit. If you stake your pride upon the stage, you will be unstoppable. To her, she must be the top star, because without her to be the bar, the others like Claudine won't put everything they have on the table. In contrast to Kaden's bombastic flair, Tendo takes position 0 nonchalantly. That is Tendo Maya. And since falling is a recurring motif within Starlight, I'm interested to see exactly where that pride taketh her. Once again, I'm not trying to be condescending. If you noticed and know all of this and still find Starlight boring, sure, of course that's fine. But for me, the show is utterly engrossing. Others have already written about how strong the directing and cinematography are, and it's an incredibly fun experience simply sitting here going over the episodes with a fine-tooth comb. And I hope I've convinced you to join me. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more content. There's great content about Starlight already out there, from Phenom Sage, Atelier Emily, Sakuga Buru, and Nearly on Red that I'll link in the description in case you'd like some additional reading, or watching. And of course, if anything I said is wrong, I'm sorry. I must have stuttered.